What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Brand new start to the week. Got my
Yes.
man Joe here with me. How are you doing, man?
Whew. You talk about a roller coaster ride this weekend? Roller coaster, man. I'm doing pretty good though. So
I feel you there, man. I feel you there. Yeah, as far as actually like Saturday, Fresh Me was a great day. It was a big day. Uh, Yesterday, it was not a good day. I don't think I've ever had a day where I've beaten lines that like much and just nothing hit. Well, I mean, like I didn't go over, but like it just felt like nothing was like
yeah.
hitting me. It was just crazy to me, man. But that's just how it goes some of the days. J Bo is already in the chat. What's going on, man?
My God.
Just give us a couple seconds here.
On,
Just waiting for some
so
people to get in here. Go ahead.
my weekend started out rough on Friday. I had a really good read on a parlay. The two
Mm-hmm.
props cash with ease. It was the two money lines, the juice part of the parlay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh Golden State waited until game time decision and Jimmy Butler sat. And I was like, wow. And then Ja and JJJ sat. And I was just like, really? No, not JJJ, Ja and Bane.
John
Now I'm more
Basham.
concerned about Bane than I am Ja, right?
Right.
But yeah, and then they had the nerve to make a really good game of it. They were down by like 20 something at halftime. And they came back, got it real close, and then lost. I'm like, ah. Yeah, exactly, dude. Like if you're in the Discord, you saw where I got hooked 4 times in one day. I'm like, this
That's
cannot be life. But then hit a plus 600 parlay in the same day. I'm like, make it make sense. And then got limited drastically. Like I took screenshots for everybody in the Discord. Like my limit went from 50 down to $8 a bet. I'm like,
$8.
wow.
Yeah, that was nuts, man. I mean, yeah, for them to limit you that fast, um, for yeah, for down to $8,
Exactly.
that's that book. Like, actually, like we don't have to say the name of it on here, but yeah, that is what I've told you. As far as accounts, I've gone through a couple different ones there, and um, they limit you
Well,
so extremely fast, man.
yeah, I had some live snipes that I didn't post in the chat just because it's hard to get a live play in the Discord because by the time you play it, that line's moving. So,
Right. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like everybody wants like live plays, but unless we're on here, like actually this, like truly live and like talking the games out with like people and giving live bets like actually this, it's like really hard to give somebody or actually like somebody to get the same actually live line. Um, but actually
yeah.
speaking of that, that's something that we are looking to actually start doing soon. Um, Probably be actually like a one night a week thing where we just come on here, just actually like one of the slates, probably actually like a Wednesday night slate, because they're like usually good. But just come on here and just actually um, just actually talk out some live bets and actually just kind of hang out. Man, it's looking like we're getting some college basketball questions to start off with, so I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in to actually these here.
Okay.
Uh, John, thank you for being here, man. John is always showing love to us. Do you like Kansas plus 10? Not Not really, man. Um, that's a game that I am not on. Um, if you just look by my numbers, pull them up here. I have Houston. I have them at minus 11. Um, so not really showing anything there. As far as an edge, I would actually have to lean under here though. Um, if I like had to pick any play, that there would be the one that I would pick. Game time guru, Jacksonville -2. Let me see where that line must be coming down. Uh, they were up,
Oh,
they were up in that 2.5 3 range. Let me pull that up really quick, man. Yeah,
dude, I thought,
what?
I thought he was asking if I had my kid tonight. I'm like, how did you know my kid name? But I do though. So
You're over there like, yeah.
I do.
Anyway, um, man, this game to me. All right, yes, if I had to make a play, it would actually be like on. It would definitely be on the Jacksonville side. But in this game, man, you got two teams that are wanting to do two totally different things. Um, but for me, here is the Jacksonville offense. Um, that I don't know. I just don't really trust, man. Like they're kind of weird. As far as shooting threes, they're actually really good at it, but they don't take many. So they're just kind of a weird team, and just on the offensive side, I don't trust them. But as actually like as far as on the defensive side, they like definitely are good. And as far as actually like EKY, like they're gonna be able to shut down actually what they want to like do. So that was a play that I was really close on, man. But just in the end, um, won the number. I didn't really have a big enough edge on the number, and just as far as their offense, man, I just don't fully trust them. So that was one that was almost a play, but just missed the cut. But yeah, guys, we have some people that are actually starting to come on in here now. If you have any games that you would like us to go over, drop them in the chat. And we'll be happy to go over 'em, man. Let's go over to the NBA slate, Joe.
All right.
Yes, sir. No problem. Start out with this actually Warriors and actually Hornets game. Do you like have like anything there? Because if you don't, we're just gonna go ahead and pass on that one.
I know this sounds crazy. And in no world would I ever lay 12 and a half. But if I were to do it, that would be the game. Like that's a strong
Man,
lean. It's a weak lean. I'm sorry, let me say that. It's a weak lean. Like if I had to lay 12 and a half, it would be that Golden State team. But my only play in that game would be Mark Williams double double. It's a
that's
parlay
right.
as a parlay piece.
Parlay piece. Yeah, I
Mhm.
like that. That this would be one of those games where, as far as the Hornets goes, if you've been fading them, this is where I would keep on doing it. Me personally, I have not been on this little fade train here, so I'm not going to start now.
Well,
Uh,
Hornets at home are terrible.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
So,
Hornets on the road where they have no hope, and that's when they're good. Like,
yeah. So yeah, it would be the Warrior side or nothing. But yeah, for me, that's a pretty easy pass.
I
Man,
do
the
have
Giannis. Go ahead.
I do have Draymond Green in a prize pick. His over PRA, points,
Okay.
rebounds, and assists, 22 and a half. Listen, I know that's
Mhm.
a scary thing to say, but Draymond, he's a pass first and rebound first kind of guy. Over
Yeah.
22 and a half is just too low. He just played him less than a week ago. He had 27, and that was without Jimmy Butler. With Jimmy Butler, I think it cashes early because Jimmy gets most of the double team down low, and Dre gets a layup. So Jimmy just looks to facilitate. If anything, I might take a Jimmy under prop tonight, under points, because I see him facilitating. Like when I watch Golden State, he facilitates the entire first half. And then the second half is when he scores. So this game could be a blowout. So if he's facilitating and then they're blown out, he doesn't really have a chance to score like that. That's my thought process. But Draymond gets so many wide open looks to a layup drill that like,
Yeah.
and he's a pass first kind of guy. 22 and a half is just way too low. Like I'd be surprised if that don't cash. Like if you guys are with me, a lot of the picks on prize picks cash in the first half this
Cashing
weekend.
early, man.
And then
Real
I
early.
got hooked by the last leg. So, but I do think this is one of those early cashes.
Gotcha. Like it. Um, Red Hot Take. We have actually already talked about that game. I think that side is priced well. I would actually lean under there, but there's no strong actually take there. Aiden, what's going on, man? There's another guy who was like always showing love to us. Favorite player props tonight, man. I actually know Joe. Joe's a big time props guy, so he's gonna have plays kind of far as prop plays kind of throughout this whole show here. If there was any one prop that you love, though, is there a certain one?
Being honest, I think Draymond over PRA is my favorite. Just from a number standpoint and what he does, that's probably my favorite play today. Let me go to my prize pick and see. If you guys are in the Discord, you see we only got 2 in the prize picks today because I'm like, let me lower the volume since I got hooked so many times in one day. My other favorite would be oh yeah, how did I forget about that? Kelly Oubre, over 18 and a half points and assists. I like that up to 20. Long story short, without Joel Embiid, he turns into an actual NBA player. His numbers pre Joel Embiid are like 10 through 14. Post Joel Embiid are like 22 to 30. So it's like it's a drastic difference. And then they say they're not tanking the rest of their season, but they're tanking. So those two are my favorite props today.
Yeah, they definitely are. Aiden, do you use any of the OS tools for your props? Assuming you mean Odd Shopper tools. And if you are, I know I personally do. And you may be seeing something later in the week. Actually, on that a little more here. So, yes, I'm not sure that that's what you meant, but that's the only thing with like OS that I
So
can think of.
there's 3 that are like really popular right now. There's props.cash, there's outlier, and then there's odd shopper. All 3 have their advantages. I think odd shopper, it gives you a little bit of data, but you'd have to couple it with another website. NBA.com, believe it or not, has really good advanced stats. If you know what you're looking for, you can find everything you need for free. But it's just not on pretty graphs and charts. It's hard to read. Um, but I think Odd Shopper, it's literally in the name. You're gonna find very low money lines, which is, like I always say, the price of the line is the most important part. Props.cash will have very juiced lines, but if you know how to use the filters, you can get what you need. Um, so I mean, I've used all 3. All 3 have pros and cons, but yeah, me personally, I'm on props.cash and NBA.com. So
Gotcha,
right go.
gotcha. We got a question from actually Josh here, and let's just go ahead and get into this game because this is the first game that I can have something to actually like really say on. Um, Hawks and Grizzlies. Uh, 252 and a half. I think it was. Has it come down?
That is
Yeah, it's actually.
extremely high total.
Yeah, it's actually down to 251 now. I think this was up like at one point today, like 254. Um, but yeah, this total is extremely high. But I mean, like, you see why. I mean, the Hawks, as far as on actual defense, they just don't play any. Um, and then Memphis, man, I don't. This is what I really want to talk about. Memphis, man, after the All Star break, um, their first half team total overs, we were killing it with those.
Yeah,
Since the All Star break, they haven't hit it a single time.
really.
Also, since the All Star break, they haven't covered the spread a single time.
Mm.
What happened to this team, man? Um, I
The line Vegas overcompensated. That's what happened. Like, think about it. We were riding that play blindly. Like, it didn't take any analysis. And Vegas eventually said, you know what? If so many people are going to make this a system play, we're just going to spike it up a little bit extra. And I mean, the line kept moving up and up. And I kept riding it up and up. I think we started riding it at 54, and we rode it to like 59, and it was still cashing.
well, I
And
mean,
now the
we actually played one actual game.
60
It,
something,
it was
61,
actually
right?
63 and a half.
Yeah,
One
and
point.
it's still cashed. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you start riding something at 55 and it cashes at 63, they're just gonna keep bumping it up. And I can see why. But me personally, if anything, I would take the under. Like that's just too many goddamn points. 250. That is a lot of points. I don't think you understand. Like the other thing that I had was Trey Young is a game time decision. Without him, it soars under because I don't see Atlanta able to keep up and do their part to hit that total. A total at I would say 235 and above. You need both teams to hit their team totals for the most part. And this is at 250 something. Like, yeah, nah.
Yeah. Man, for me, like when I first looked at this, I was like, all right, the Grizzlies, like I said, they haven't since the All-Star break, they have not covered a number yet. And
Mm-hmm.
now they're laying like 8.5, 9 points. That seems like a lot.
That's that's recency bias. Last time they played was in December, right? And
Mhm.
they beat the Hawks by 16. And now the line is exactly half of that. I think that's what it is. I think it's recency bias, but I'm liking the Hawks plus 8.5, but there's no way I'm laying it if I don't know if Trey Young's playing. Like he is the heart and soul of that team. So if he's not gonna play, I don't want to get caught in that situation again where I put the bet in early and then they rule them out right before the game. Happened to me just Friday. So I'm waiting to see if he plays or not, and then I'll lay it.
This is a spot for me where, as far as actually Memphis goes, we always talk about it. They are a good home team. They're a strong home team. Um, and specifically in the first half, too. Like actually like covering spreads. Like, yes, they've been a good first half team, but actually also
Yeah.
covering spreads. For me, um, they haven't been, but I could argue now that this is a buy low spot on actually them. Because like I said, as far as the Hawks, like I said, as far as defense, like they've been trying out like different things, man. Like I was like reading a bunch of stuff, like actually the coach was saying, and they're trying out so many things and nothing's working, man.
Dude, they switched the lineup so
Yeah,
drastically. Like they have like these different sets where JJJ will be the primary option. Then they'll switch to Bane, and then Bane will be out of game. They'll switch to Ja, and it's like, well, wait a minute now. We're used to seeing Memphis without Ja, right? We had a whole last season we can go
yeah,
back and look at. But now, when you start moving Bane in and out the lineup, that to me is what triggers how Memphis is going to react. They have a kid named Jalen Wells. Oh my goodness, that little dude is a very good spot up shooter, and his point line is at 10.5. He can hit that with 4 threes. But I mean, that dude is a solid 3-point shooter. But his 3-point props are at 2.5, and it's juiced. And I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm not doing three with the rookie with juice. Personally hate juice. So
yeah,
but yeah, if you can get his points prop at 10.5, I would say take that up to 12. Because worst case scenario, you push.
right. You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
All right. So like I said, like the Grizzlies, they have not hit a first half team like total over now in quite a few games. Tonight's game, it's set at 67. You basically want them to get 70 points. But that goes to my point of how bad this Hawks defense is. But
That
with
is
saying all
a
that, I cannot play it. That's a big number. But I'm just saying though, if there's a tonight where that offense is going to get back on track, tonight is the night. But the books are definitely onto it though. Like these numbers are set so incredibly high.
67. I just need the Hawks to trip somebody one time and you don't hit that. Like,
Yeah.
God, I it's daring me to play the under. Like I feel like I I almost feel forced to play this under because it's like, damn, if anybody has a bad shooting night, it's not gonna hit.
Yeah.
Like,
Um, I'm not playing the
I'm
under. I'm not playing the over. I'm staying off of it. Like I said, this was a spot where I like was looking to back the Grizzlies, but I think the books are just all over it though. Um,
I'm
so
probably I'm probably gonna lay the 5 with Memphis on the first half. I'm thinking
first half,
about it.
all
Yeah,
right.
I'm thinking about it. Thinking
That
about
there,
it.
like I said, that like first half spread, that's like where I was first going there.
Yeah,
Um,
because I'm looking at the team total for Atlanta, and I don't think they get 62 in the first half.
I was just about to say because it should be 60 something too.
Yeah, they're 62 in the first half,
Okay.
and yeah, I don't think they hit that because they only scored 112 last time they played. They had 49 in the first half, and now you're just gonna say just because an extra 16 points?
Yeah, to answer this here, yeah, man. Um, yeah, they have, yeah, they actually like model all this. But then as far as your first half spreads and your like, and like as far as your actual like team like totals, they're all just based off of what the full game like total and spread is. Like that's how they get to those numbers. So that's why I like to focus on like those because those like team like totals, that's where sometimes where I find that that's where the biggest edge is because they're just going off of what the full game total is and then like I said, just actually doing the math actually with the actual spread there. And actually that's how they get those. Um, so that's where I find where you can find the most actually value at. Matter of fact, I can kind of talk about with this next game, man. Rockets are playing OKC. Go ahead. Did you have something else? There?
I think I know why this line is so high. The last 2 times the Hawks played, they've cleared 62, and once was against OKC, who has a really good defense, but they haven't been playing defense
I
the
was just about to
last
say they
3 or
haven't been
4
playing.
games. So
Okay.
that's probably why this line is so high. They have not I don't think they've cleared I'm looking to see if they no, they have not. They've not cleared that first half line against Memphis.
Hmm.
62 is a lot. I mean, granted, the last game was in December, and it's what have you done for me lately? But yeah, I'm gonna put a pin on that. I'm gonna I'm gonna lean on it and then get back to that later.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's actually go into this Rockets. Let's actually Rockets and Thunder game. Um, for me, the like over was what I wanted to play here because just like you said, OKC. I don't know where their defense gone. I don't know if they just decided, like we can like win and not have to play much of it. I mean, because we can just outscore like anybody.
Yeah,
Um, just I just actually because their offense is just so good. It's actually like them and the Cavs. I feel like are like the same and actually that way. Like as far as defense, if they really want to, they definitely can.
oh yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but don't really have to also because their offenses are just that good. Um, and that's where I'm at tonight. I wanted to play the over, but to be honest with everybody, this morning I actually slept in for the first time in like a couple months. It seems like, um, and as far as the number, I like totally missed it. The total shot way
yeah.
up,
It
but
did.
the OKC team total is still set at 119 or 119 and a half. Um, and I still think that is low because if there's one thing that I trust within this game between these two teams is that OKC offense. Um, I don't know what to expect as far as some of the other things in this game, but that is the one thing that is going to show up though. I do know that. And OKC, they've actually gone over their team total in actually 6 straight games now. Um, and 119 would actually be the lowest number out of all of those games. Um, I mean, yeah, they just scored last night on the Spurs 146, 135, 129, 128, 130. I mean, they're going well over this.
Yeah.
Uh, and they also just played actually last night. So on the second night of an actual back to back, I don't really think I don't really think that with this whole not playing much defense thing, I don't know why tonight they would all of a sudden start to try to play like that. So yeah, to me, this number just seems low.
So to me, you proved my point and rationale behind why I took the Rockets team total over, right? So the
Okay.
Rockets team total was only at 109, right? Listen to what OKC is giving up. They gave up 132 against the Spurs, who do not have a good offense like the Rockets. They gave up 119 to Atlanta. Okay, all Atlanta could do is score, but they can't stop anybody. They gave up 121 to Brooklyn. They gave up 131 to Minnesota and 123 to Minnesota. So they've not held anybody. Like I'm looking at the last 10 games, and they've only held two teams under 110, and that's the Miami Heat, which they just did the trade and all that stuff, and everybody was in and out the lineup, and then they had the Utah Jazz. Those are the only two offenses that stayed under 110. And then you're going to give me the Rockets, which the Rockets and OKC play each other very, very well. I wanted to take the Rockets on the spread because, like you said, OKC is on the second night of a back-to-back. I personally believe this is a spot where the Rockets could potentially steal this one at plus 360. So giving me 10.5, it was like, okay, that seems like a trap. So I'm gonna sprinkle on Rockets plus 11, and I'm gonna lay the 109 for sure.
Well, I'm like looking back at their like head to heads now. And their last game they played each other, that game did go under, but that was at the beginning of the season when the Thunder were playing defense. They were locking everybody down.
Right.
But this series has actually been an over series besides that game. Then coupled with everything else me and you just talked about, I know we missed the best of the number, but why aren't we just playing the full game over, man? You like the Rockets team total over, and I like the Thunder team total over. So
I really
for all the points we just made, it seems like a full game over.
So the reason why I like the Rockets team total over a little bit is because the Rockets have so many players on the injury list, right? So I think the line is giving you a discount.
I ask you that.
Yeah, the guys that are on the list, they're not offensive minded. The only guy that's on there that I would consider offensive minded is Sengun, and we don't need him to score and keep up with OKC. Like Amin Thompson, he's a solid rebounder, very, very solid rebounder. Does give you a lot of second chance opportunities. And he's been getting better at giving assists lately. But Sengun, he's a very underrated facilitator. Steven Adams, he's a rebounder for second chances, but we don't really need him. We went over half the season without him in the lineup. He was just getting introduced into the lineup. And then Terry Eason, between him and Jabari Smith, they've been on and off all year. So Jabari Smith is a very solid. I think he's better than Tari, if we're being honest. So the Rockets just have depth, and I think because you have 5 players on the injury report, that line has been pushed down some. But I mean, I'd still take the Rockets over the Spurs, and the Spurs just put up over 121 on them. Like we're talking about a 12-point discount. Yeah. I think they can cover the spread, J-Bo. One of the reasons why is if Dylan Brooks doesn't play, I'm really happy because he does this way too much. And when you do this to SGA, it just lights a fire under him, and he'll drop 40 or 50. Like Dylan Brooks doesn't know when to shut up. So if he doesn't play and Sengun and Amin Thompson do play, then I'm laying the points with the Rockets. But I think now I'm taking the Rockets team total. And I'm also looking at the full game if JD likes OKC.
I say, man, everything you're saying is just talking me into the full game over more. Like literally everything.
Yeah. 229. 229 is very doable. They've done it 2 out of the 3 times they played.
You can get, it looks like you can actually get a 228 flat at actually like a few books here.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought that I had missed the like number here, man, but when we're talking it out more, I think this game is just still too low. Was going to go with the Thunder, just actually isolate their actually team like total over. But with how you're talking about the Rockets, though, I think we might as well just have both teams and just count on both teams to actually like give us extra points.
Is that the POD? Because I really don't have anything else that I like on this one.
That's all. That's all I was. That was the only thing that I was close on. So yeah, guys, we can go ahead and tell you that is play of the day. We are still going to go through a couple more games, but yeah, we're going to go and drop the play of the day a little bit early here.
Yeah, because that's literally the only thing that and Sacramento. I had liked Detroit at 8.5 when I texted you earlier, and now it's at 11.5. I'm like, who did that to me?
Well, that actually Kings and Mavs game. Do you want to go ahead and go into that one?
We can, yeah.
Because I don't really have anything on it. I see like the favorite flip. The Mavs actually were the favorite, and Kings are now 2.5 point favorites. Yeah, I just don't really have
I really like the Kings in this spot. Again, I'm not gonna lay it. Like I'm not gonna lay it on the Kings, but I like the Kings up to 5 in this spot. Reason why is because what have you done for me lately? I've been watching the Kings the last couple nights and just giving it the eyeball test. Those guys they figured it out. So now since that Zach LaVine trade, it's starting to fit and make sense. People are starting to get their roles defined. Malik Monk is not the number one facilitator. DeMar DeRozan is. Malik Monk was too wild and had too many turnovers. Look at his plus minus if you don't believe me. DeMar DeRozan is a lot smarter with the ball. Him and LaVine have prior chemistry already, and now they figured it out on this Kings team. Also, to mention, Jonas Valanciunas, he's a solid center, right? Dallas has no center. No Derek Lively, no Gafford, no AD. That dude's getting a double-double. Like we can already count on it. The books got it priced at minus 210. So you know that he's getting a double-double. There's no Sabonis in this game, right? But you really don't. I don't want to say you don't need Sabonis because he's great, right? But no Sabonis and the line still flip to the Kings. That's telling you what you need to know. I like the Kings up to minus 5 in this one.
All right. Yep. No, that definitely makes a lot of sense. Guys, we're about to go to the last game on the slate here. If actually you have any other questions about any other games, go ahead and drop them in the comments now. Yeah, let's go to this last game on the slate, man. Pistons are at the Jazz. And man, Pistons, they've been winning games and they've been covering games, man. In the last 10, I believe they're 8-2. And you know, they've been covering some big spreads too. And actually like night, that's actually what this is. This is another big spread. But man, like don't look now. The Jazz have been covering extra spreads too, though. To me, Pistons side, that's where I leaned. The number has gone up even more. I think this Pistons team is a little bit overvalued currently. I think we're finally to that spot. So that, and then seeing the number go up even higher, you have to lay 11 now with this team. That's the side that I lean, but I definitely do not see any actual like value there. But yeah, do you have anything for this game?
I like the Pistons at minus 8, but minus 11. Like first off, head to head, the Jazz beat the Pistons outright in Detroit, right? But that was in December. I'll give you that. The second thing is Detroit is very injured today. When you see the Utah Jazz on your schedule, I've noticed this isn't just Detroit. One of the reasons why the Jazz have been covering lately is because teams look at them as a bye game. right? They look at them and they say, hey, we're going to rest our starters up a little bit. We're going to see if our second squad can beat them. That's why the Jazz have been covering a little bit. So if you look at their ATS, like the Jazz are also injured, right? Colin Sexton, John Collins, Jordan Clarkson, Laurie Marketing. Those are their primary guys. They're all out. Well, Sexton and Collins are game time decisions, but Clarkson and Marketing, they're both out. And Marketing is probably the most important person on that list.
Yeah,
But looking at Detroit, they got what, 5 players? 4 players are ruled out. I think Tobias Harris is probably the most important there. And then Isaiah Stewart is a game time decision. He's definitely probably the most important piece because he's the backup to Duran, Jalen Duran or whatever.
yeah,
So, and he has a lot of heart. So I like him a lot. But just with all that being said, I can't back a Detroit team who I know are probably going to rest starters or not take this game as serious. And the Jazz have been covering at home, if I'm not mistaken. Like their record is 8-23, right? At home. But that's not their ATS record. I think their ATS record is a lot better than that. And those young boys, Keontae George and Isaiah Collier, they've been balling lately. They were in the All-Star game. That's when they got on my radar. I started looking at them, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see you, young man. Although
Mhm.
Keontae George did just hook me the other day. Their team has been covering the spread lately. So for me, I'm just gonna stay away. 11.5 is just too damn many points when you're playing your backups versus their backups who've had a lot of experience already.
Yep. Totally agree. Jay was asking about 76 Trailblazers. Didn't you already say something about that game? Or did you not?
Nah, nah. The Trailblazers they're a scary team right now because I think the world has caught up to their value and them playing good. But I do think this line is priced appropriately. The 76ers, they just besides Tyrese Maxey, it's all on tank mode at this point. I don't really see anybody showing up to play for them. They're pretty much I think they're tanking for Cooper Flag personally. Uh, I mean, what's the flag guy
Yeah.
to Duke? What's his
Yeah.
name?
Oh, there's a
Cooper Flag.
Cooper
Yeah.
Flag.
I think they're personally tanking for him, but the 76ers historically do pretty good against the Trailblazers. But yeah, if you said gun to your head, pick a side, I'm taking the Trailblazers, but
Yep.
I'm not happy about it. So
Yeah. That's yeah. For me, that's a complete stay away game. I don't like it. Matter of fact, tonight's whole entire slate, I actually do not have very many plays. Today for me is a very low volume day. As far as in college basketball tonight, I actually do have 3 plays. I do have to say that I'm on a 24-6 run. My actual last 30 college basketball games. So yeah, I definitely do have to say that. We're here in March now. It's a great time to get hot there. And honestly, the whole entire team is. Um, I
yeah,
do have to say that.
yeah,
We're like all running actually hot there. Yeah, so hopefully that can keep up for us. But yeah, tonight, as far as in college basketball, I do have 3 plays. Um, all 3 of those plays do start early. They are all 7 p.m. Eastern games. So if you would like to get on those, definitely go ahead and get in now because those games will be starting before we know it. But yeah, man, for me, like that's all I have.
yeah.
Do you have anything else?
Nah, that's it. The reason why, so a lot of the reasons why I think this slate was a little trifling to look at, because I don't want people to think we're being lazy. Like when you take all these factors into consideration, a lot of these teams played yesterday, so you don't know how they're going to do on the back to back. That's one. Two, a lot of teams got like the injury report list is like this damn long. So you don't even know who's gonna play in those games. So it's like you can't cap a game where the injury list is long, or they played yesterday and you don't know how they're gonna act, or you know what I mean? Like it's this weird spot after the All-Star break where it's like, okay, wait a minute. Like let me I think teams that had recent acquisitions, like the Cavs and the Cavs with DeAndre Hunter is probably the most egregious, not talked about trade for the trade deadline because he is solid. But I think that's the reason why. Well, personally, I'll speak for myself. That's why I didn't like a lot that was on today's slate.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was just a lot of games that just did not catch my eye, or either that I thought that were priced well. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, and also a bunch of teams that, as like y'all know, there's some matchups in here where I just don't touch. Um, they're just teams I'm not gonna actually bet on currently. So for me, that's where I'm at there. But yes, guys, play the day. Rockets Thunder over 208. You can
28.
get that at minus 105. That is actually at Caesars currently, right now. Over 208, minus 105. That's the best line that I currently see. Actually, as far as on major books, it there's a couple paperhead sites, but we can't give out lines from actually there. Um, but anyway, so yes, so from all major books, Caesars over 228 minus 105. Um, Everybody lock that in. As far as an actual NBA play, that is going to be my only play for the night. So yeah, man, that's it for us. We will see y'all tomorrow. We do have actually like across the board tomorrow. That actually is going to be at noon, and then we have this show again at 5 o'clock, just like we do Monday through Friday. So yeah, we will see y'all then. Joe, take us out.
Well, you know what my boy DJ Khaled said? Another one. No, but for real though, he said you either win with us or watch us win. Either way, let's fucking win, baby.